Hey everyone, welcome to the MMA Report. UFC have been releasing high-profile fighters, and according to Dana White, there should be more to come. Bellator president Scott Coker talked to MMA Fighting and gave his thoughts on the UFC making all these cuts. You're talking about a couple of guys that really made a difference in their division. I'm surprised they didn't want to keep them. It's a great opportunity for us. To be honest, we're a better fit for those guys. They'll have a great home here. A couple of the guys I talked to, they wanted to come to Bellator. People see when they get here how we treat the fighters and how it's a family atmosphere. Yes, it's a business, but it's really run a lot different than other organizations. At the end of the day, I think the fighters wanted to be here. They made the move to be here. Each one of those guys had different circumstances with their past employer, and I don't think they wanted to take this fight or that fight, and some ultimatums were thrown around is what I heard. It just didn't work out. Too bad for them, good for us, and now look at that light heavyweight division we have. There's no doubt we have the best light heavyweight division. First of all, Nemkov is the best fighter on the planet at 205 until he gets beat, because I've never seen Ryan Bader get dismantled like the way he did against Nemkov. You're talking about a guy that can wrestle, strike, got a complete game, top pound for pound rated in the world, top rated in the 205 pound weight class, and he won a heavyweight tournament. He's a serious athlete, this guy's a killer. Nemkov just kind of did his thing with him. With UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski coming off his second victory, albeit a controversial one over Max Holloway, the next in line for a shot at the title is Brian Ortega. Ortega had an impressive victory over the Korean Zombie in October, with Ortega scoring 2 knockdowns over one of the best strikers in the division. Volkanovski talked to SMP MMA about a potential matchup with Ortega.
Well, Dana White, he comes out and says that he's targeting February. So is that something that you're looking at, or you just told me that you don't want to put up the date out there, but that's what Dana White said, so we got to ask you.
Well, that was a date. That was a date that they threw out. I think they needed to fill in a card, but again, with everything that's happened on this side of the world, especially we're having more cases here, and we're starting to get lockdowns close to where we are. And obviously New Zealand, I do my camps there. We just need a little bit of notice, and I think that they had a couple of fighters fall through. So we just told them, say, look, no, we want that fight. Let's just do it. Again, I won't throw dates or anything there, but let's just do it this date. So early next year is still our goal. I want to get in there. I wanted to get in there end of this year, but it just wasn't looking likely. So we said, all right, early next year, let's do it.
How long have you been ready to fight?
Man, I'm all, how many conversations have we had? How many interviews have we done? I'm always staying ready. I'm always staying fit. I'm always in good nick. But again, obviously, with everything that's happening, I've just been here at Freestyle Fighting, which is fine. But a lot of times I like to, do a bit in Tiger Muay Thai, do a bit at New Zealand. So it is different, but at the same time, we're keeping fit, we're staying strong. We're making sure our base is always at a good level. When we want to turn it up, when we get notice for a fight, we go, yeah, let's do it. Bring it on, and then we get stuck right into it. But again, we're working on visas and things like that to get me over to New Zealand. Well, as we speak, we're doing that right now. So when the UFC gives us a date, we head over there. Again, there's a lot of things that you need to get through, especially with the 2-week quarantines. We're still doing them here. So for me to go to New Zealand, I need to do a 2-week quarantine no matter what. So I just need to know about a fight well in advance. So I can do my 2-week quarantine and then get into camp. Or we just need notice so we can organise everything. So I want to get in there though, brother. I want to get in there.
A lot of red tape, a lot of underlying factors, but one thing's clear.
Get tight.
If you could envision how this fight plays out, what do you see against Ortega?
Again, just with his fight with Max. Again, you've seen that. It's not easy to work on a gas tank. Some people just have it, and some people don't. And obviously you can grow, but you can't. I believe that I'm going to break him. The way that Max did, I believe that's somewhere that I can go with it, especially with my style, especially my pressure style. This is another thing. Again, I didn't want to give too much away, but I'm just gonna just chat to you anyway. But this is a fun fight for me because I believe I get to put the pressure on. I get to be in his face, which is fun. People want to see that. This is a fight where I believe, Ortega, I don't care how much he's working on his fitness, I'll still be able to get in his head, in his face, and grind him down. And that's why it's going to be a fun fight. It's dangerous. Don't get me wrong. It's a dangerous fight. Ortega, you know, we've seen him knock out plenty of guys. So obviously I'm going to be there. But again, there's levels to this, and I believe my pressure, when I use it, my pressure is just on a whole nother level that not many people in the world has ever felt. You know, people always hear about my pressure, and then they train with me, they spar with me, and then they're like, fuck. There's that pressure people fucking talk about, you know what I mean? It's just a whole different level. You hear Israel Adesanya say to himself that I'm half his size, and then when we're sparring, he realizes, like, this guy's pressuring me, getting me on the back foot. He's like, wait, this guy's half my size, I ain't gonna let that happen. So he stands his ground before he knows he's on the back foot, you know, worrying about what I'm doing. So he goes, I've just got a knack for just being able to put pressure and get people on the back foot and really worry about what I'm doing. And that's something that you don't understand until I'm standing in front of you. So they can train for it as much as they want, but once I'm in front of you, really putting that pressure on, it's just a whole different beast.
Former UFC welterweight CM Punk arguably had one of the worst runs. He lost via submission in the first round against Mickey Gall, then a few years later lost a dominant decision to part-time fighter/journalist Mike Jackson. Since essentially retiring from MMA, Punk joined a Fox-run show called WWE Backstage, which has been cancelled. In a recent interview on Renee Young's podcast, Punk compared Vince McMahon and Dana White. There's levels to it. Obviously, you can draw that they're both right-wing. The word I'll use is weirdo, because obviously they vote based on what's good for their pocketbook. If I had to compare and contrast, I'd say Dana is more generous. He does a lot of stuff for the fighters behind the scenes, there's a lot of locker room money that people don't know about, and he gets a lot of flack for not paying fighters enough. That being said, I do think fighters need to get paid a whole lot more, but a lot of the time when he lashes out, when people are complaining about pay and unionization, it's because he knows, hey, I just gave that guy 250 grand under the table, but you can't talk about it. But he should still pay people more, and fighters need to get together and unionize anyway. In part to a class action lawsuit against UFC, Joe Silva mentioned this about the added money, and I'd say here's what happened in every fight. And here's money that's not knockout or fight of the night, here's extra bonuses that I think these guys are worth. And I would make suggestions, this guy lost, but it was a good fight. He did that, I think he should get 3,000 extra. I think that guy should get 10,000 extra, and I'd go down the whole card. It's safe to say UFC's Khamzat Chimaev isn't the biggest fan of Conor McGregor. He'd taken offense to Conor's comments about Dagestanis and Chechen people and claimed he flew to Ireland to beat McGregor up. Though with YouTube star Jake Paul calling out Conor and making disrespectful comments about his wife, I don't like the disrespect shown towards him by Jake Paul towards his wife, his friend. I'm not happy about that. Like his friend Dylan Dennis got toilet paper thrown at him, but if you're disrespecting someone doing something bad, it comes back at you. And this was your MMA news update for the 4th of January. Hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.